Love the filmmakers. I always wanted to make movies. The irony is that my father had a lot to do with my trajectory, but also a lot to do with me second guessing it, because my father's a realist. Both of my parents are Jamaican, so I'm first generation American. So my dad's like, yo, be a lawyer, be a doctor. But at the same time, my dad took me to see every single movie ever. And like while we watched movies, he would always tell my brother and I, he's like, yo, you know, such and such, did such and such, and that's it. I remember we went to watch Street Fighter. It's like in 1994. And my dad is telling my brother and I in the movie theater, you know that guy who plays the bad guy, I forgot his name.
Raw. I'm sorry.
We know the guy. My dad leans over and he says, you know, he just died like 2 days ago. I'm like, what? This dude in the movie fighting Jean-Claude Van Damme is dead? And my dad's like, yeah, he died of cancer. I'm like, how do you know that? And he's like, I read. My dad used to always make fun of my brother and I for not reading. Like, my brother was 13 and my dad made him read the autobiography of Malcolm X. Like, just crazy stuff. So I told him, I said, it's your fault. I want to be a filmmaker, man. Like, you put all the keys in my hand at the same time. So with that, I went to college, went to grad school. And when I was in grad school, I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design. It's a predominantly white school. It's like an Ivy League art school in Savannah, Georgia. And I don't say that to discredit them, but it is. And so I had this idea, because I was watching a music video. Do you remember the time? Michael Jackson. It was my girlfriend, now wife, Jamie. And I'm like, yo, how dope would it be to do something like this today? Nobody's using Egyptian themes and black people. All the Egyptian themes have white people in them. That's weird. So,
especially considering
Egypt's in Africa, right? You know, they tell you it's in the Middle East. It's in Africa. So I'm like, all right, let's do something. So I come up with this idea. Okay, what if Nefertari or Nefertiti comes back to reality? You know, how would somebody from a great black civilization feel about black people today? You know, like we're very weak when it comes on to power globally. We got a lot of money here in North America, at least, but we don't have a lot of power. So it's very interesting to look at it. So I said, you know what, damn that, I'm gonna do this thing called Valley of the Queens. So I did this thing in 2011, guys, Valley of the Queens, a very watered down version from what you guys saw. And my Professor Shodel, if you're watching, you jerk, Professor Shodel, I got a master's degree, you know, I can say that, I'm qualified to say that, he's a lame. So, you can't sue me for that. So we're in class, right? And it's like, it's me and a few other black students. And mind you, some of these black students, you know, God bless them, but they're like, yeah, man, I'm a radical, and us black kids are gonna stick together. Now I'm coming straight from HBCU, Shaw University, into a predominantly white college. So, you know, I'm not here to assimilate, I'm just here to get some game and get up out of here, right? Like, I'm not, you know, you don't have to like me, it's all good. You know, my father is an immigrant, he has taught me the game. I don't have to be accepted by you, but you know, I'm a good guy to everybody I meet. Well, Professor Shodel looks at the film, stops it, and says, you know, your movie is historically inaccurate. And I said, why? And he said, well, have you ever been to Egypt? I said, no. I've never been to Africa. He says, well, I took a tour of the pyramids and they told us that ancient Egyptians didn't look like that. I'm like, man, kill yourself. It's like he thought he was so funny. And, you know, I turned around because like all the militant black kids, all three of them, you know, they're going to have my back, right? And I'm like, damn, I'm always that dude who is, like, I've always lived a square life, right? We were poor growing up, but I didn't have to be in the streets. I was just poor and Jamaican. That's in LA. That's it. But not, like, in the streets. So I was always a square, but nonetheless, I had that thug mentality in me, and it could come out nonetheless. But it came out in a very interesting way where I was just always going against the grain. So I'd always be the one black kid who actually would say what the other black kids are feeling, but don't say and get in trouble. And I'm like, damn. So I said, not this time, ain't gonna get me. You know, this damn master's degree costs too much money. So I ain't saying anything. So we got out of his class and then went back home to California. Ironically, I was living in Hollywood. I was working in Hollywood for the Goodwill as a career advisor. So I was walking up and down the streets of Hollywood and Vine. Like, I'm from Los Angeles. Like, when you're from LA, you know that Hollywood is a bum town. Like, homeless people, runaways, drugs, prostitution is not dope. And so I'm walking up and down the streets, working at the Goodwill, helping young people, runaways, meth addicts, all that. Got a promotion, went to the city of Pomona, did the same thing. Then we lost funding. and I got offered a job out here in Phoenix, Arizona. So I decided to transition out here. And while out here, I'm still excited about filmmaking. I'm like, okay, smaller market, we could do something. And I had a few people approach me. One guy in particular 2 years ago, and he's like, yo, man, I got a budget, and I got a script, we're gonna do this movie. So every day while I'm at work, helping people with resumes and cover letters, I'm also, doing casting, emailing people, looking for locations, putting together a whole budget and production schedule. Just a day before production happens for him to be like, yeah, go do some personal things, man. I'm gonna have to pull out. And I'm like, yo, damn, again, it happened to me, right? Mm-hmm. So then about a year later, a really good friend of mine, he's like, Kev, I know that dude burned you last year, but we're gonna do another movie. And I'm like, reluctantly. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Same exact thing happens, right? I'm an idiot, boo-boo the fool. So my wife, Jamie, she kicked some game to me. And Jamie's from Kentucky, and she giving me some game. As Jamie says, why don't you do it for yourself this time, buddy? And I said, you know what, you're probably right. You're probably right. I'm tired of helping people, and so many people are lackluster in actually getting out, turning on a video camera, standing in the sun, and filming some actors because, it's uncomfortable. And I'm like, but, this is what I really want to do, and I'm going to do it. So I did Valley of the Queens. And guys, I did the first episode of Valley of the Queens in late August. And now it's at a film festival. So it's kind of crazy how, the power of your mind can really work when you have some faith and you actually do something, just put something in action. It's really crazy. Mm-hmm. And then, just like all of you guys, I really don't like hierarchies that are old. I don't like it. So like, old white wealth kind of like makes me upset. Not because you got money, I don't want nobody to be poor, but it's like, where your money come from? The hierarchy of the entertainment industry in North America is really weird and dated, and it doesn't work anymore. Like nobody, like for example, true story. When I first met my wife, Jamie, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. We went to Hollywood, because she's from Kentucky. So I'm like, yo, spring break, come home with me, I'm gonna show you LA, it's gonna be dope, it's gonna blow your mind, right? So we're in Hollywood, true story. And Justin Timberlake was taping a movie with that chick from that 70s show. I never know her name. Yay! Whoever that is. And so I look at Jamie and I say, yo, it's Justin Timberlake. He's like 20 feet in front of us. And she's like, oh, okay. Not impressed. And I was like, yo, you're fly as hell. You're dope. She was not impressed. Then we see a Charlie Chaplin impersonator, and she's like, oh my God, Charlie Chaplin. You gotta take a picture with me. And so it was very interesting because, most time out-of-towners, when they go to California, New York, and they see famous people, they freak out. She was not bothered by it. And I said, okay, with her generation, my generation, and going forward, it's no longer a big deal to be famous, which means it's no longer a big deal to be a Hollywood producer, which means you don't really have any power anymore. And with this little thing called YouTube and a camera, I can really do what I want to do. I no longer have to be Spike Lee and ask somebody for some money and hope that they put my movie in a theater. I really don't care if I ever get into a movie theater. If 100 million people see it and I get a little bit of money, then it's successful. So it's like, it's so new now that it is ridiculous to think like those filmmakers who burned me and were like, yeah, man, we're gonna do something, and then dropped out. Like, that's weak and that's lame, and like, I give props to you guys and anybody here who does anything, honestly, because it's so easy just to do it. All you have to do is have some motivation, kick some game, listen to Nipsey Hussle if you need some motivation. All right, read the Bible, because Jesus was a thug. And I try to tell people this story all the time. Okay, I know I'm being long-winded, but I'm going to end it right here. Check this out. I'm going to kick some game to you guys. If you close your eyes and imagine Jesus was a black man, and his story was the first story of white supremacy, you're going to see it in a whole new light. Here's this dreadlocks black dude coming around white people talking about, I'm the son of God, and you're whack because what you're talking about don't make no sense. Oh, he got to go. Right? He's got to go. What's the difference between that and a contemporary rapper? Nothing. But when you water down the story and make it, well, soft as a lamb, which is pretty lame to think of a God being like weak, that's lame. That's social construction, and you're being played. So my whole thing on filmmaking is, if we can socially be constructed to believe that, this white, meek, turn the other cheek, Jesus dude is the guy I got to pray to when a cop pulls me over and might blow my head off. I'm being lied to, right? So I can flip the lie.